Hello Total Wargamers, my name is Deacon and welcome to the next battle in the YouTubers tournament series hosted by ShadowOnlineGaming. And I'm up against the Gobbo King and his beastmen with my Lizardman army. And as you can see, it's a rather big crowd here. And well, what happened here is that this entire map is full of water. It's just one big swamp. So that's also why I picked the Lizardman here. And at the time I didn't know that Gobbo would be bringing the Beastmen, but Beastmen is a faction that I've always been fearful of. I've seen so many people do well with them in online games, particularly when the double Cygor was made out. And well, as I mentioned before, I hadn't been in multiplayer since December or so, so I only came back for this tournament, and I figured let's try something that he is not going to expect. He's probably going to expect me to bring dinos, and I didn't bring any. I did bring mostly units that are aquatic, and there were some tournament rules obviously that limited the number of Parthian shot units, for example, so I couldn't bring chameleon skinks and skink skirmishers, so I went for 5 skink skirmishers there. Then some 4 temple guards, some 5 skink cohort with javelins, 5 regular skink cohort, one of which with double chevrons. So I have 10 range units to micro here. So I'm going to try and surprise him with the build. And at the same time I'm trying to keep it manageable for myself, and my micro wasn't exactly what it used to be in earlier times, and even then it's never going to be up to the level where the Gobbo King and players like DavvPlays and John also in this pool, or Master of Sotic, are going to have it. So I figured let's not bring a caster. I've been receiving some comments left and right, why didn't you bring a caster here? Well, if I need a micro 10 range units, and also the only purpose that this Scar veteran has, or Saurus Old Blood on a cold one, is to keep him out of melee and out of harm's way, really. So he's still rather fast with his 68, and I knew I was gonna have to micro the matchups for my temple guards well, or I'd lose. I was going to have to micro the targeting for my range well, or I would lose. And I was gonna have to keep my my lord surviving, so I figured, okay, if I also need to have a caster to keep safe and not get a leadership penalty when he drops, also just to spend the cash on more range units, otherwise it might still fail, because it's a rather weak setup. It's mostly skinks with low leadership, and I was trying to keep my lord alive to deal with leadership, enemy leadership in the end game, but I was mostly relying on my range to deal with all the big monsters. So I couldn't really sit around and let them hammer away on my skink skirmishes and so on. So I'm gonna put this in slow-mo whilst Dahv is pulling up. At first I only saw his warhounds here, and I was unaware. So I was looking like this way, and okay, where is that guy? So at some point I saw some units pulling up left here, starting with the harpies, but most of these were hidden at the start. So rather than putting him off balance, or he might have been a little surprised, I don't know, but I think a player like DavvPlays is going to recover quite quickly and just say, okay, I'll change the game plan. And well, obviously he wasn't exactly playing to my plan, and when I saw some units coming out in the open here, I was still thinking that it was only part of his army, because I was still expecting the main army to be over there somewhere. And it also caused me to be rather slow with responding. So I do start, okay, let's first take a look at his build, because I will start responding. He's pulling back these warhounds here. He's got minotaurs with great weapons, 2 of them. He's got Khazrak One Eye, and then on a chariot. So that is rather problematic, all of those, because they can just rampage through my lines. Then there's Bestigor Herd, and he has a total of 3 of them. Then there is some regular Ungor Raiders, a Brave Shaman of Shadows, the Harpies we've seen, another unit of Chaos Warhounds with poison, and then here in the back Centaurs with great weapons. So the deployment actually gave a lot of room for Vanguard deployment in the rear. That's also why he could be here, because he wasn't in the extreme corner. There was just room to deploy them wide. Might as well have put them here, but here it's a forest. So I was being kept quite in the dark about the whereabouts of his army. And I was concerned for my backlines with stuff like Chaos Warhounds charging into them, because that's where my skirmishes are. And they are the more effective ones over the skin cohort with javelins. So by now he is pulling up, and I see this army coming here. And then it's a couple of units at first still, so then I'm still hesitant. Is it everything? But I'm already responding, sending some skirmishes and a skin cohort over to this flank. And as you'll see, I had my entire facing and front, also the field of fire of most of my cohorts in towards the front. And now I am also going to respond to these bunches of warhounds there. By now I also see these guys coming, so I'm also feeling like I need to protect my rear. So I'm effectively being enveloped here and being boxed in already in terms of where I'm forced to maneuver my troops to. So front line, back lines, none of it is going to be all too relevant. And as you can see, I got my temple guards, for example, with their flank facing the majority of his army. So not only am I shuffling extremely fast here with my tons of units, also I just lose micro, creating proper facing, let alone giving proper matchup target orders once this army starts pushing in. And then we still have 9.5 minutes ahead of us. It's not like it's going to be over in a second. Part of the reason to bring this, because this is one of the builds that I did test. The previous one against Jonton, I had no time to actually test that build, to be honest. But this one, I've been playing a couple of test rounds, and at that point, with this build, even though there was no caster in there, I could do fairly well, especially when a player doesn't shift his entire army to a single flank, as Gobbo King is doing here. So with that testing results, I was quite confident that I would have a fighting chance here to at least, to be honest, when I saw that I was in a group with Jonton, Gobbo King, DavvPlays, Lawmaster of Sotek, who are all tournament players, and me being a campaign player in his first tournament, and I had very little illusions about making it to second round. You know, I was counting on losing most games, but from an entertainment point of view, I was just hoping to well, at least fight till the end and give a good show and at least try. So I was going to trying anyway, and I figured if I can manage to survive for some extended periods of time against players like these, then at least I'm offering my viewers some entertainment, because it's not a roll over and die scenario here. So I've got some routing at the front here, because he's got Kazrak in there, he's got the Chaos Warhounds with poison on the flanks, he's got Minotaurs in my backlines, he's got even more Minotaurs who are routing these two units of skin cohorts. It means also that my my line is collapsing way faster than I had expected. I had expected to have the lines collapse, but I was counting on my temple guards to offer some more defense, really, to keep the tinier units alive with the weaker ones. And right now my matchups are just, I've got two temple guards in here, one facing the Besticle herd and one facing another Besticle herd, which is not really the best target. They should be on bigger things, and in the long run that is going to play to my disadvantage. So the matchups were wrong. I have my Saurus All Blood on stuff like Harpies that aren't going to do too much damage to him, but Kazrak the One Eye is a beast, really. Particularly in a matchup like this, with all the tiny targets, all those skins, he's just gonna run through them and run over them. And the advantage of these kings is they route fast, but also they do come back for quite a long while. here I'm trying to push down the Centaurs with great weapons along with the Chaos Warhounds with my single skin cohort, and since they're wavering here, I felt content just leaving them there. Now here I am facing off against another unit of Chaos Warhounds with poison that are in fact wavering to my skin cohort with javelins. These guys are scattered, those are scattered, these are scattered. So they're getting scattered all around, but these guys are conveniently coming back and pushing in this little tiny bit of skin cohort in an effort to save my old blood here, and I think I am going to pull him away from the Minotaurs here, but as you can see he's very damaged. Kazarak also, he's very hard to bring down, but he is losing hit points. Where is he? He's basically, oh, he's in here with his Minotaurs. No, he's not. Where is he? Oh, there he is. So he's going like with 80% health, ping-ponging my isolated units, which is the way to go, because he's just able to terror out most of them quite quickly once they get isolated. So even though they do come back from routing, this unit, I've pulled it back. I think they routed before, but they both rallied. And I'm just thinking, okay, these guys are routing, these are quite damaged. If I can just pepper them down with my arrows, and my Saurus Old Blood has escaped here thanks to the skin cohort and the skin cohort with javelins. I still feel like I have a chance here. Not all is lost, but the balance of power is in favor of the Gobbo King. I'm trying to keep my units together and to create another front here. I'm also desperately trying to rush towards my lord and get those Minotaurs off his back. So these skin cohorts are on to that job. Here is another, oh no, this is Temple Guards on the job, which is the only proper unit basically to deal with these guys. So they have some killing power. Kazarak is still in here. He's hardly lost any hit points in the meanwhile. So as you can tell from the balance of power and all the wavering that's going on, it's pretty much in favor of Gobbo King still. However, I do still have ammunition, and I can make these guys break. So they are now, they were wavering just a moment ago, but I think they're going to run at some point, but also coming back. Now they're running, but they're going to come back. There's still 9 of them, even though their leadership is now very low. I have some stuff to chase him. And I am chasing them with my skin cohort and Temple Guards, which I think is maybe a little bit over the top. Now the Saurus Old Blood, I mentioned I was trying to keep him alive, but since these guys were wavering, I'm trying to finish them off. And well, if I could just keep those Minotaurs away and these Bestigal herds away from me, then I think, okay, if I can just deal with Kazarak here now. The rest is all on the flanks wavering, and then it would be down to just the Brave Shaman and Kazarak. But now the Minotaurs do come back from routing, and as you can tell, there's this, where are they? Oh, this unit of Ungor Raiders. They've been killing steadily. They've got 90 kills. So even though it's a rather cheap unit, they've been. I don't really have anything fast to catch up with him, save for my lord. But he's had other priorities, and he's now breaking, by the way. So are these Centaurs, but still Kazarak is almost full health, and so is the Brave Shaman. So it's going to be my guys who are routing here. I think my Old Blood does come back from routing once more, but at this point I don't have the killing power to deal with Kazarak, and he has just all the tools to run down the remaining skinks that I have. It's mostly skinks. There is some Temple Guard, but there's 16 here. There's 41 here. Now this was the one unit that I was hoping on to win me the battle, really. But they're now going after Kazarak. But he has the mass to push out of them. They are low on leadership. My Old Blood he has come back, I think, but he's still running around breaking now, and he is virtually dead. He has only 400 hit points left on him. So even though It's going so poorly. It's still 1.5 minutes of gameplay until the army is finally beating, and that's one thing that is good about the skinks. They can come back from routing quite many times before they actually shatter. I've seen quite a bunch of units shatter, but still not as many as you'd suspect, particularly with all this terror on the field here. Khazrak, he actually doesn't do terror. But does his mount do? I don't know, I guess not. Minotaurs don't do terror either. Okay. Oh, there go my skink skirmishers. This is 2 units of Temple Guard still holding 50 and 36. They could probably deal with the Bray Shaman and Khazrak alone, but then there's still Basic Warherd in there. These Minotaurs haven't gone down yet. I still have ammunition, so I'm trying to target the larger targets in here, and I'm still rooting for a win, even though my leadership is shattered. Oh no, it's not even shattered, it is, but it's still breaking. So thinking maybe my Temple Guards are gonna hold and provide me the miracle that I need here, but to no avail. It's game over. Victory is not in our grasp. This is the balance of power for Gobbo, actually. I'm using his replay here. So it was a victory for the Beastmen, and it's a good game to Gobbo. He just shows the hand of the master really by just not playing as I would expect, and not coming from the front, shifting his army to the sides, and then encircling me, and basically grinding me down with mostly Khazrak there. So well played, and I must say I did learn a lot. I still don't know if I would have brought a caster in this game, because the micro was quite heavy for me. It would have been easy if the facing would have stayed the same, but right now it was maybe if I don't know. Maybe I could have dealt with the micro, but in this case I felt more confident. Just bringing infantry and doing it this way. So I was still surprised that the battle lasted that long. Obviously was hoping to win it, but then again Gobbo has clocked in his hours. He's written guides for the game. I mean, it's not something easily done by a guy who hasn't played multiplayer within half a year and has mostly done Medieval 2 for a long time since. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. There's I think 2 more games ahead of me, and you're welcome to join ShadowOnlineGaming's channel to see all the other matches. There's going to be a link in the description to his channel. There will be also a link to Gobbo's channel. If you're familiar with Warhammer 2 multiplayer, then you're definitely not going to be a first-time visitor to his channel, but I'll provide the link anyway. And thank you for watching. See you next time. And then on second thought, I thought let's show the statistics. I kind of forgot about them. We can see our losses. We brought 2,600 skinks and some Temple Guards, and we've lost almost 2k of them. And then Gobbo only brought just below 800 troops, lost 538, and had 257 remaining at the end of the battle. Here, Khazrak, 325 kills there, and then the Minotaurs 300 and 152. Obviously, these stats are going to be incredibly high because all of them are up against loads and loads of skinks, and one of the things I had in mind is just to tire them down, and hopefully I had staggered deployment with the intention of winning the stamina game as well, but it didn't really work out. Anyway, these Centaurs with great weapons, 257, these guys 250. The Chaos Wars in comparison didn't do too well. Brace Shaman only 50, but I guess it's enough. He was still standing at the end of the game. Ungor Raiders got over 100 kill with their ranged, and the Harpies 37. So all in all, very nice stats for Gobbo there. My Temple Guard did most of the killing there, and the skirmishers and the javelins, they were primarily there just to kill the big stuff, and well, quite a few of them did go down, and I think I didn't really properly deal with them because they just kept coming back, and I should have probably focused them down until they were truly dead. But hey, you learn as you go. So for those of you interested, there was this little addition here. I hope you've enjoyed still, and do subscribe for more if you like, and indeed, for real now, see you next time.